Hi, this is going to be an Excel tutorial on how to create a drop-down menu. So what we're going to do, I'm going to be working off of sheets 6 and 7 down here, so you can have multiple sheets in a spreadsheet document. If you want more sheets, you just click this button with the little yellow circle and the blue box. If you put your mouse over it, it says Insert Worksheet, and it will create sheet 8 or sheet 9 or sheet 10 or whatever it may be. So I'm going to name sheet 7 list reference, and I'm going to name sheet 6 drop down menu. So I just double clicked on the name to change it. Once I already got one name back. So drop down menu 1. We're actually going to delete that sheet. Alright, so we're going to be working on drop down menu and list reference. So we're going to do two things. I'm going to show you how to create a drop down menu. Now, in order to create a drop down menu, you need to actually have a list to reference from. But I'm going to show you how to create that drop down menu with that list in the same sheet, and then with that list in a separate sheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create item name. So let's say I'm doing like an inventory. So I've got quantity, item number, item name, we'll go with cost. Now I want to declutter this, so I'm going to highlight all the columns by clicking and dragging over here, and then I'm going to click and drag. You see how my mouse is now look like it's split. I put it between D and E, and then I'm going to drag and increase, and it's going to increase every column by the same amount as I increase D. So you can look at the size that you have D at. So you can see that little line right here. I can see how big I'm making D, and all of my other columns are actually going to become the same size as that. So it's an easy way to kind of adjust the column width of everything at once. Really handy. I'm going to bold these just to make them look nice, and I'm going to center them by clicking up here in the alignment section. Center. Alright. Now, I want item name to be a drop-down list. I want to be able to choose my item that I'm looking for from a drop-down list. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to create a list of the items that I am currently producing. So maybe we're doing cars, we will do Barbies, we'll do lawnmowers, we have all kinds of stuff. And the last thing we'll do is a bike. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to item name, because now I have my reference list. I'm going to come over to item name, and I'm going to click up here on the data tab. In the data tab, we have a section called data validation. I'm going to click the down arrow, I'm going to click on data validation. And under the allow section, I want to open this drop down menu, and I want to make a list. And the source is going to be your reference list that we made over here. So I'm going to highlight the data in that list. I'm going to highlight the data under the item name header, and I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to click on OK. And we have now successfully created our drop-down list. And you can see cars, Barbies, and lawnmowers, and bikes all appear. And if you want to copy and paste that drop-down menu, you can. So you see that little box down there. You have two options with that box. You can click it and drag it to where you want. And now I can come up here and I can change each of these individually if I want. The other option that we have, when we want to copy and paste a drop-down list, is if there was data over here in the column to the left, I could just double click the square and it will automatically copy whatever formatting and whatever I've done to this cell will automatically be copied into all other cells that have data to the left. So that's another way you can copy and paste the drop-down menu. Oops. So at this point, I did talk about how you don't have to have the legend on the same screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete everything I have done. And I'm going to go over to my list reference. I'm going to create my list that I'm going to want to reference. So I'm going to do item name to Barbies, lawnmowers, bikes, and cars. I'm going to bold that because it's my header. I'm going to go, so I clicked on my item list, my list reference sheet, and I created my list that I want to reference. I'm going to go back to my drop-down menu sheet, and I am going to highlight the first cell under item name. I'm going to go back to data validation, click on it. I'm going to again click on list, and again I'm going to click on source. This allows me to select my source. Now at this point, I want to click on list reference, where my list is being stored, and I want to highlight again the data in the list that I'm referencing, and I'm going to hit enter. I don't want to click on drop down menu and go back yet. I want to hit enter first, because if I click on drop down menu, you see up here how it's telling me that I'm on the list reference sheet. If I click drop down menu, then that's going to change to drop down menu. So I need to hit enter now while I'm on this sheet. So I've highlighted my table, now I'm going to hit enter. Now I'm going to hit OK. And so if we come back to our inventory list, you can see that my drop-down menu has appeared. And like we showed you before, you can copy and paste that menu. Now, before you notice when I copied and pasted it, like the drop-down menu appeared in all of them and it had lawnmower selected. If you don't want that to happen, after you initially create your drop-down menu, there is a blank spot. You can just copy and paste from there and they'll all appear blank, but they'll all still be drop-down menus. So if that's something that you wanted to have happen, that's how you would get this accomplished. So that is it on drop-down menus. I hope that made sense, and I hope you can make good use of that. The next video I'm going to be working on is on the VLOOKUP function, which will take this inventory list we've started to the next level. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching.